It's spiritual warfare. It's spiritual warfare. It's spiritual warfare. That's what spiritual warfare is. As the world is attacking you, you're trying to keep yourself from being consumed by the attacks. You're trying to keep your heart pure. You're trying to keep your heart you're trying to keep the light within you ignited. Stay ignited from within. Don't allow yourself to become darkened in your understanding. What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers because, hang on just a second. I want to give a shout out to one of my subscribers back from, I believe, August of 2023. During that time of my life, I was going through a lot. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and I was going through a lot of, how do I put it? Let's just say my mental space wasn't, even though I had the right idea in mind, because that's what this video is going to be about. This video is going to be about what I talked about in a particular video that I made. And that is, it has to do with the condition of your heart, how life is going to throw all kinds of things at you and because life is a test, right? God is testing you. God is testing you. And through this test, there's a lot of trials, a lot of tribulations. Life is hard, things are tough. And a lot of people, when they go through this life, if you allow the outside world to consume you, it will harden your heart. You will become one with the world with a hardened heart, and you will be like the world. When the Bible says you will be like the world, you will be hardened. Like the world is hard. It's a hard, rough world. So you're going to be hardened in the heart. You're going to be bitter, angry, resentful, all these negative emotions that if you allow it to consume you, it will change who you are for the worse rather than for the better. And if you pass the test that God is putting you through, pass the test, and you will be you remain soft-hearted, you remain compassionate, you remain good from within. You pass the test, and you don't allow yourself to become hardened by life, because life is gonna throw all it's got at you. And I'm sure everybody who will watch this video can agree, life will throw everything it's got at you, and you remain soft-hearted, you remain compassionate, you keep the same heart you have from when you were a curious child, from when you were just 5 years old, 6 years old. You didn't have any responsibilities, but you had all the curiosity of life in the world, and you just looked at life full of optimism. You were just full optimistic. That's what you were. Remain that way. The same heart you had when you were a child, you have to keep that same heart throughout the entire rest of your life. Now, I want to give a shout out to that subscriber, because he put a comment down below that I can't stop thinking about. During those times back in August, I made a video talking about this particular subject, and not to say that I was wrong about it, because I knew I was right. It's just, I'll be honest, I was dealing with a little bit of that hardness myself at that time. In this video right now, as you guys are speaking to me, as you guys are seeing me right now, I'm not dealing with it. Completely soft-hearted. Completely who I know I'm supposed to be. And again, I want to give a shout out to that subscriber who commented, because they said, oh, they were actually being encouraging, saying keep making videos, keep posting, keep talking about this kind of stuff, because it can help a lot, and it definitely helped him as well. So I really don't want to be the kind of person who doesn't carry out, who doesn't carry this out, especially if I know it's gonna help people. I want to help people. I want to be supportive. I want to help people be. I want to help people understand how they can carry this life out and remain fulfilled from within, because only God can give you that. And the only way you're going to connect to Him, the only way you can ever be close to God, is if you remain soft-hearted. That's why the Bible says, that's why the Bible calls us His children, because it's not talking about you physically being. It's not talking about this. It's talking about here, your mind, your heart, right? The condition of your mind, the condition of your heart. You're being tested in this life. Are you going to keep the pureness that you were given from the start of your life? Are you going to maintain that like a car? It's like having a car, right? You buy a car brand new, 0 miles, right? What happens to it is all up to you, right? You drive it easy, you take care of it, you change the oil, you don't slam on the gas, you don't slam on the brakes, you're not abusing it, you're not driving it hard. It'll last you what, like 10, 20, 30 years. It'll last you a long time, right? But what about the opposite? You're driving it hard, you're abusing it. It won't last anywhere near that, right? So that's what it takes, you know. It's like maintaining a car, but you're maintaining yourself, your spiritual self. And when you maintain your spiritual self, it reflects off of your physical self. People will be able to tell. People will, even if you try to hide it. Even if you try to hide it, because I will admit, I've tried to hide it, and you can't. You can't. And the reason why I've tried to hide it is it's actually a good reason why. It's actually a good reason, because I've experienced a lot of attacks in my life. I've experienced a lot of demonic attacks from people who they themselves had that hard heart. And that hard heart will drive you to do things that are dark and demonic. You know, attacking people and being something that you're really not. And the only reason why that happened to me at one point in my life, in fact, it happened to me once when I was a teenager. I'm in my 20s now, but when I was a teenager, just starting life, just trying to figure life out, things were not happening the way that I wanted them to, and the way that I expected them to, and it was angering me, and it brought me to a place where I hardened my heart towards God, because I was upset with Him. But I was like that for a few years actually, until I matured enough to realize that it's not right. It's not right. That life is full of optimism, and even if things don't play out the way you expected them to or wanted them to, at the end of the day, I don't think it ever will. You can have a plan, and you can pray to God that plan gets carried out. But the thing is, if it's not God's will, He will not allow it to happen. You see what I'm saying? He just won't. Now, not to say that God doesn't want to bless you, not to say that God doesn't want to help you, not to say that God doesn't want to see you thrive and achieve, right? Because He most certainly does. It's just you have to be aware of what your motives are, what your intentions are, because that's another thing that plays a key factor here. Is if you want God to bless you with the things that you want, your intentions have to be in the right place as well. You can't have, and when that happened to me, it happened to me right when I first started with life stuff. I didn't go to college. I didn't, I didn't do what most people my age at the time was doing, like going to college, getting a degree, and all this other stuff. I wasn't doing that. I got a job, and I was working at a factory that my dad was working at, and I was having a lot of problems at home, and I was having a lot of problems at the job, and it felt like I wasn't catching a break at all. Like at nowhere, there was no break. And I honestly think that I would have caught a break sooner if I would have let go of certain things that I was holding on so tight to. Things that I knew God wanted me to let go of, that I didn't want to let go of, but I had to. And I eventually did. And it was the right decision. So just follow God, trust His timing, trust what He wants out of your life. And I want to give another shout out. Honestly, that particular person who made that comment in my video, that's what really motivated me to make this particular video. Because I've been posting videos, but I wanted to come back to this subject. I wanted to come back to this subject because I had a subscriber who talked about it, and he really thanked me for making the video, and I ended up deleting it, because the reason why I ended up deleting the video was because I was dealing with something in here that was, honestly, I think it was, that voice in your head that tries to doubt you and tries to mess with you. That voice that now I know how to put it in its place and not allow it to control me, especially if I know that what I'm talking about is going to do nothing but help people. And especially if I know what I'm talking about is the right thing. I mean, you gotta face it. The Bible talks a lot about the condition of your heart. Read Hebrews. Hebrews has a lot to do with the condition of your heart. Hebrews, do not harden your heart. If you harden your heart, you're gonna feel so distant from God. You're gonna be looking for Him in all the wrong places. You will end up in a place where you're looking for Him in all the wrong places. You don't want to be in a place like that. So just don't harden your heart. You could soften it, but sometimes that softening process can take longer than you expected. Can take longer than you wanted it to. Yeah. But even if you're in a place where your heart was hardened and you have to soften it, at one point in time, I was real upset with myself because of the fact that even happened to me in the first place. But at least I can look back now, and I could at least talk about it on this video, so that others who hear what I'm saying, at least they won't end up doing the same thing, Like, I know for a fact that is the first and last time that is ever going to happen to me. Because when you transition from a place that you've known your whole life, school, Elementary school, middle school, high school, all the same. All the same. And then you get out here, completely different. Completely different. Nothing like you expect. Nothing like this. Nothing like that. Nothing like this. And then all the expectations you had when you were in high school completely go out the window because it was just so different out here. You see what I'm saying? It's definitely never gonna happen again. And if I end up in a place where I have to adjust so drastically like that again, it's not gonna happen again. I mean, I don't think that'll ever happen to me again. It was literally once in a lifetime thing where I was a teenager, still learning certain things that I felt like I needed to learn, and in the process I was getting frustrated, I was getting angry, I was confused, and I managed to get things together. I managed to figure things out. I managed to understand certain aspects of life more clearly now, and it helped me a lot. It helped me a lot. And not to say that, I will say this. That season of my life where it felt like I was hardened for a season, it definitely taught me a big lesson. And I'm not condoning it. I'm not condoning it at all, because it is a scary experience, a psychologically scary experience, because when your heart hardens, you're distant from God. So you're practically alone. But the good thing is that I was already close to God before that happened to me. I was already close to Him, so I figured, okay, if I carry out that same process that I've always carried out to get close to Him, I will eventually get close to Him again. But it just took far longer than I expected, and it just, I want this video to be an encouragement to people to remain soft-hearted no matter what you're going through. Keep a soft heart, stay strong-minded, and don't allow life to consume you. Don't allow this world to consume you, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Stay one. You see? Now, if you go back and you watch a couple of my videos, my first few videos, you'll realize that you could just tell by the tone in my voice. Even then, it was just a couple months ago, and I've been in the video that I'm talking about. In this video, it was a video I posted way before my first video here, because my first video here is not actually my first video. It's probably like my 10th or 12th video that I finally told myself, you know what, you're gonna post it and you're just gonna leave it, and you're not gonna mess with it. You're just gonna leave it alone. Just leave it alone. And I've left it alone since, and I'm gonna continue to do that. All right. So when I post this video, for that particular subscriber out there who commented and really liked the things that I said that day, I want him to know that I was on point. Don't get me wrong. I was not misleading you. Even though I was still dealing with a couple things here, I was not misleading. But rest assured you, I will not delete a video like that again. Just understand, you guys. Life is gonna test you. Life is gonna test you. Life is gonna test you. All right, you guys. I hope this video was a blessing to you all. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.